This week I'm in Teddington on the banks of the River Thames and home to a major overseas relief and development charity celebrating 50 years of sharing Christian compassion for others. Welcome to Songs of Praise. Today, as one of Britain's biggest overseas charities reaches its 50th birthday, we meet the Christian family showing compassion in far-flung places.
We don't want to be working in this role sort of in decades to come. We want poverty, in a sense, to be defeated.
I hear how a top chef was changed by a trip to a cocoa plantation in West Africa.
Let's make sure that we've got a sustainability factor when it comes to chocolate. We should say, right, fair trade is our minimum price.
And the Reverend Kate Botley meets the Christian students on a challenge to eat just rice and beans. To reflect this week's theme of Christian compassion, we've hymns and songs from all over the UK, and our first celebrates the richness and depth of Christ's love for the world. Billions of pounds from the UK are spent on overseas relief and development, and one of the British charities involved is Tear Fund, founded in 1968 by the Evangelical Alliance, an umbrella organisation of UK churches. From very small beginnings 50 years ago, a multi-million-pound charity is now on the go here in Teddington, supporting aid workers in over 50 of the poorest countries around the world. Working with established partners in the developing world, the charity supports projects including water sanitation, construction, HIV and AIDS education, as well as providing emergency relief for disasters, such as the 2010 earthquake in Haiti and the famines across East Africa.
Tear Fund started when there were images that people were seeing of suffering all around the world, and in particular the Biafra crisis. And the Evangelical Alliance found themselves suddenly receiving all this money from concerned Christians who wanted to help. So they began to put those funds through to organisations who were working in situations of need. And that's where Tear Fund comes from, the Evangelical Alliance Relief Fund. Tear Fund. Our Christian faith has been central. We want to see people lifted out of poverty, living transformed lives.
In the current climate of extra scrutiny on aid organisations, the charity is taking steps to ensure it remains both transparent and accountable.
We've been deeply saddened and disturbed as we've been hearing about the different cases of abuse that have been hitting the media. And we recognise that the aid and development sector, all of us, needs to take issues of protection seriously. Protection of the most vulnerable is an important part of our Christian calling, and we expect to be held to account for our actions. We're working with the whole sector in order to respond to this situation and in order to bring about change and improve standards right across the board.
The charity takes pride in supporting the work already being done by the local church groups in the developing world.
The church is one of the largest civil society organisations, and the church is there right on the ground in the situations where the need is greatest. And we marry Christian compassion with practical action. We believe that as Christians we are called to serve and to follow Jesus' example in serving others, and that's why we're here doing what we do.
Many of us have been sponsored for a charitable cause at some time or another. A few years ago, I climbed Ben Nevis for charity. But the Reverend Kate Botley has been meeting a group of Christian students taking on a challenge with a difference.
Here we go, everyone. There you go. Yay! This is the chaplaincy of Manchester University, and I'm joining these students in the Mean Bean Challenge, where people pledge to drink just water and eat just rice and beans for 5 days. That's nearly a week. I mean, I like rice and beans as much as anyone else, but that's real commitment. Throughout the challenge, these students are keeping video diaries of their progress.
For lunch, it's rice and beans. For dinner, it's rice and beans. And throughout the day...
Abby is studying speech and language therapy.
Tonight is black beans and red kidney beans.
Jeremy is a physicist.
This is my dinner.
And Lydia studies law and politics. These students want to raise £1,000 for charity, and as the week kicks off, the diet comes as a shock.
I just keep thinking about food all the time. I'll just be walking down the street and see a shop and automatically think about going into it and buying some food. And it's really made me realise how much we take it for granted.
I'm definitely missing being able to just pick up a cup of coffee or something on the way to a lecture. I just had some uni this morning, found it really hard to concentrate.
I feel a little bit bloated, a bit lethargic, but I think it's become a really good reminder of all the things that I actually have access to in my normal life.
Halfway through now, and this developing world diet is also affecting the students' spiritual lives.
It's almost like fasting, so we're really trying to pray when there's these hard moments, going towards scripture and looking what it has to say about lifting up the poor.
And how about you, Lydia? Where's God in the middle of this?
I think he's fasting with me. I really do feel a sense of closeness with him in this time, because I know that it's something that he really cares about.
Every mealtime it's challenged me to sit there and really think about the food I'm eating, and kind of, even though I'm eating, simple rice and beans, it can also be a simple time with God to, just get closer to him.
As the challenge nears the end, the students are struggling. It's tough.
Today I'm starting to feel the apathy towards it and the struggle.
I was going to do a video yesterday evening, but I just had a massive headache. Don't know whether it was not enough food, not enough water, probably a bit of both.
The tiredness gets to you a lot more, and it's been quite hard when housemates cooking nice food and you can smell all sorts of aromas.
But good news, it's nearly the end of the week and they've already smashed the target and raised over £1,700, which will go towards beating poverty and hunger across the world.
Good morning. It is my last mean bean breakfast.
And it's had a profound impact.
I pray a lot less about myself this week, and more about the issues that I feel really overwhelmed by, and sometimes it's difficult to know how to pray for those things, but I think it's opened my eyes to the fact that we need to at least be trying to pray about these things.
A lot of the time we talk about, I'd really like a snack, or, I'm just dying for a cup of tea. But actually, there's people around the world who are surviving off one meal a day, and they are really starving, and this is just a fraction of that experience.
It's really encouraging seeing all the people donating, and that kind of keeps you motivated to do it and actually make an impact and do what you can to help those who need it.